Ah, there you are. Ah, look at all your beautiful faces. Ah, let me just take a minute and look at all of you before we commence our Seder. I cannot even tell you what a tonic it is to see you all in your little boxes. It's like a Mondrian painting with warmth. Well, let's not wait for the next simcha. We need to do this more often. I'll bring the wine. All right? What? Huh? Ah, shit. How do you unmute? Okay. Okay. So, before we begin lighting candles and washing hands just for fun, I want to take a moment and say I have never had so much sex in my life. Just kidding. Or am I? But, all right. You can all mute while I ramble. I know we could spend all night having a Talmudic dialectic about the parallels between what we're going through now and the Passover myth. I have read more plague op-eds in so-called legitimate newspapers than I care to discuss. And yes, I said myth, Eli. But to personalize it, this last month started with the cancellation of my beautiful granddaughter's bat mitzvah. What seemed like moments before the big event. First, a postponement of the party. Dayenu, it should have been enough. Then a simplified service. Dayenu, it should have been enough. Then a service with just a minyan, no cousins, no aunts, no uncles, no friends, no strategic workplace colleagues seated 6 feet apart and live streamed for the congregation. Dayenu, it should have been enough, but no. 4 days before the big day, and it still wasn't enough. And at the time, it felt like a great injustice. I was so worried about her and her parents. And 3 weeks later, we live in a completely different world, and it almost seemed trivial. But it isn't. It isn't trivial. Where is she? Where is she now? There you are. Little perfect. I love you with all my heart, and we will celebrate in style when we can. They say you don't have a bat mitzvah, you become a bat mitzvah. And you certainly have. How you have risen to the occasion, how the world has forced you to, and I couldn't be prouder of you. Now, of course, that was about the time when I got it, and as you all know, I usually like to push my way through being sick, and I'm proud to say I never took a sick day in my life, and as much as I love to share all of my bodily functions with my near and dear, sometimes with sound effects, these ones were even more sci-fi than seeing people on abandoned New York City streets wearing masks. My stay in the hospital, my week in the hospital was breathless and terrifying and profoundly lonely. I kept thinking about your mother's yoga teacher, right? The hunk who shamelessly flirted with her until she bought that, that package of 20 privates. She still can't touch her toes. But he said this thing to her, and then and she told me. And at the time, I thought, well, this is what I'm paying $150 an hour for? Hey, just shut up and let her stare. But then there I was, fighting for my life, and it popped into my head, and it became all I could think of. He said, every breath is a new beginning. Every breath is a new beginning. Every breath. And it became almost like a mantra, whatever that even means. And I became a FaceTime expert in the hospital. It's not the same thing. Deep down in my kishkas, I feel like a phone call is much more intimate. But it was nice to see your mother's face and to see all of your faces too. As you know, I'm not a big God guy, and there were moments when I thought about how nice it would be if I have even an ounce of faith left in my tired, aching bones. So to amuse myself, I test him. I downloaded Woody Allen's autobiography, and my breathing improved. Yeah, don't worry, Barbara. I knew enough not to get the hard copy, but I still want you to come over and visit. We can agree to disagree. But, if anything, this terrible virus is maybe even more convinced, I guess you'd say, of my spiritual inclinations. My God is you. You and all the healthcare workers. I told your mother not to cook. Why she made an 8-pound brisket, potato pudding, and apple pudding, and matzo ball soup, haroset, which I don't even like, her horseradish, which I love, and the pavlova for the two of us. I still don't understand. No one's coming. I kept yelling from a different room. This is the Seder I know how to make because I'm making it. But you need to downsize, Marilyn. No. I don't know how to do that. I said, Marilyn, you're sick. You're sick. You need to take care of yourself. I'm only a week ahead of you of this whole ride, and I can tell you, look, you will not have the energy to eat this, let alone make it. Well, just because you weren't in the hospital, doesn't mean you could have to make a brisket. And besides, the amount of fat in that thing is going to kill me, and I just barely escaped death. Well, we didn't actually have that conversation. That was the conversation we had in my head. Well, she's sleeping now. I don't want to wake her up. But when she does get up, or maybe we could all do another Zoom. I mean, I think she'd like that. I know she'll kill me that I didn't wake her up, but she needs a rest. God, what am I going to do with all that food? I guess I'll just wrap it up and I'll put it outside the door. Maybe in 6 hours, one of you could pick it up and take it to a hospital, or every breath. All right, you can unmute. Who wants to do the first cup?